This is the new Collector's Essential Investment Guide. My name's Pat's Projects, and we're going to get into it. What you want to start to understand right now in this whole entire market is that there's a lot moving. And if you are just coming back into the hobby, you can start off slow, take a look at everything over time, or you can go back to the sets you know and start collecting from there, which is what I did. And then as you trickle into more modern stuff, you start to understand the market a little bit more. You go to more card shows, you can start to see that everything's going on. And then from there, you can dive in fully and understand your investment principles and what you're going to do in the whole market itself. So let's talk about number one. Let's talk about understanding the market era. For me, I started off in WotC, so that means Wizards of the Coast. That goes all the way back to base set Shadowless, first edition Jungle, the promos for WotC. I collected with my brother all the way through Fossil, base set 2, Team Rocket, Gym Heroes, Gym Challenger, and Neo was where I kind of grew out of it, but my brother still collected through Neo into Legendary Collections. Unfortunately, my mother decided that the best thing to do would be donate my brother's binder because he no longer played with it or wanted it. But my binder stayed safely, thankfully, in a box tucked deep in the basement. And then one day when my brother started to collect again, he took it out of the basement and moved it into his room and took out all the hollows of it. And then he decided that he was going to keep my cards safe, the ones that mattered, and preserve them. And if you have been following me on my journey, the whole thing is documented in my YouTube and YouTube Shorts and on my TikTok. So be sure to follow me there. If you haven't, go take a look and just genuinely comment because it helps you out so much to understand where you started. Going back to where you started can definitely be a big key into well, realistically nostalgia sets, but also the idea that there's a lot less price moves in the WotC era because they're kind of already the staples. So like you kind of know where you're at with those cards. When everything hypes up, those cards ramp up, and then when everything dies down, those cards fall hard too. And you can go into almost any card store out there. If you were in this era, you can find the commons in people's binders. Some card stores have like 5 binders of just the commons of all these sets. And then the real money makers are like the base set Charizard, Blastoids, and Venusaur, from those eras. The hollows, you can go through and see first edition Charizard goes for $2,000. The market price raw versus Blastoids is 600, and then you get a lot of other ones out there, whereas like raw, it's a big difference in just a regular set. You got your first edition jungles that are acquiring a lot of money, and so you can start to see how these really can carry a set from here. And if you played with these as a kid, you're like, oh, I remember those cards. Just make sure you start to understand what Shadowless means, what first edition means, and the difference between the prices each go for, because this is base set 2 here, not as big of a price versus the other ones. You've got the WotC promos. This promo Lucky Stadium was sitting at about, I think, $1,000 at close to a couple months ago. So it's like you look at these things, and I'm trying my best to collect them when it's appropriate and my pocket can afford it, or if I come into contact with one of these and I can trade for one of them, like that makes it more appeasable. Like I've seen a ton of these cards over the years, but you got to make sure you're making the right choices when it comes to buying these cards because they can run for a lot of money. In the top 3 cards in this set right here are almost $1,500. Sabrina's Gengar is an expensive card. We're into the gym class era now. Like these cards were very highly valued. The first Lugia card, still one of the GOAT mascots, top 10 mascot of Pokemon, realistically, if you're thinking about Pikachu, Charizard, Blastoids, Venusaur, those are your GOAT 4. Then you got Gengar as number 5, into the 6s ranges. You're looking into the range of like Snorlax, Lugia, Rayquaza. That's really where you start to see Umbreon might be Umbreon's top 10 probably too. Tyranitar's top 10 probably too. So you get a lot of these cards. And then you see the Gyarados. This is the card that I chased. I never got, unfortunately, never picked it up. And my parents were always comfortable spending $2, $3, $4 on a pack. They were not comfortable looking at a card that cost $100, $200, $300, $400 back then and being like, let's give a 10-year-old a $500 card. So like that, the gamification or the investment side of it wasn't really there when we were kids. It was more of the gamification of just cherishing every card that you pulled. It was every card you pulled matters. You put them all in a binder. They all had meaning, and that was what collecting was back then. And if you remember collecting like that as a kid, maybe you start on the set that you grew up with, whether it's this era or more of a mid set era or a modern era. You know, that's up for you to decide, whether it was EX Diamond and Pearl or just a set where you know you can try your best to get them at a decent price and move forward from there. And then we were out when Legendary collections came around, but that was really where we started collecting. So understanding the market for what draws your eye and what's the set that you have nostalgia towards. If you've never collected Pokemon before, you might want to stick to more modern stuff, because modern stuff can help you not break the bank realistically, but there are cards out there that are more expensive. It's just that the packs cost less, so you might be able to pick up more, which will help you rip a little bit more. They say if you rip about 40 packs of cards, that's like one booster box and maybe a collection box. From there, you should start trying to pick up the singles to the set you're trying to master, or realistically just keep ripping some packs that you enjoy with your family. Understand, keep your costs down, and don't go in too hard and then go into debt over it. Topic number 2 we're going to talk about for newcomers is diversifying between raw and graded. Okay, keeping your graded cards at a reasonable, realistic rate. Are you going for 10s? 10s carry. So let's say we can go back here. Like we'll go modern real quick. Let me just make another set list. Modern 10s can carry price range from $100 to $150 to all the way up to $2,000, $3,000. Like we'll look at Deaths and Rivals. Deaths and Rivals is a quick one to just understand. So we're not going to break the bank. And actually, I want to do this on, if you go to Pokedata.io, I don't own any site. I don't pay for a premium of this site, but this site lets you see both right next to each other. So Pokedata.io will help you out. You can see what the PSA 10 rate is right here. So PSA 10 Team Rocket's Mewtwo is somewhere in the range of $1,600 to $2,000. A 9 is $630. And then you can see the eBay listings in another site called TCG Player. Those are the websites that you can get a better understanding for. So you can start to see where each one of these cards lies. And then like Missy's Lapras is a $40 card, but the PSA 10 is $265. So you can start to see where the difference in price goes with all these cards. How many cards do you want to keep graded, for your long-term investments? I've picked up one collection, and then I bought some graded cards that I wanted. One of the collections that I bought had 2 PSA 10s and a PSA 9 in it, and a bunch of raw cards. The PSA 10s that I've collected on my own, I bought one for my wife. It was around $100. It's now $200. I bought another one for under $150, another one for $90, and another one for $75, and they've all appreciated in price. Am I breaking the bank with graded cards? No. Are they long-term investments? Yeah. Do I want to sell them one day? I don't know. I like looking at them. They make me happy, and they're tucked safe away. Mine is probably not 60-40 graded raw. I'm probably more like 30-70, or actually probably more like 85 raw, 15 graded. But I just like, filling my binders with cards that matter, whether it's in a top loader and penny sleeves or just a penny sleeve. I have two different types of binders. Keep your stuff and protect it. Those are some strategies you can use to diversify so you're not going crazy in the in the slabs versus raw grading area. Next thing I want to talk about is understanding the hype, following the supply of everything, and then understanding where you're at when it comes to purchasing some packs. So I'm going to go up here real quick if it allows me to. Give me 1 second. We're going to look at packs, cost of a pack real quick. So your modern packs are right here. There's more modern packs. Each modern pack goes, I haven't done all of them, but each modern pack is typically, unless it's a real hype set, so scroll over, look at the list of the hype score of 10s. Each group that has a 10 next to it, the packs like Paldean Fate is a modern set, Crown Zenith is a modern set, Mew 151 is a modern set. Like those packs are 15 to 16 bucks, but then the more not hype card sets are somewhere in the range of $6 to $10 for packs online you can purchase them for. You don't need to get the most hype set out there. If you said, what's the most hype set out there? It's Evolving Skies, without a doubt. And if you want to run Evolving Skies through your bank account, you're looking at to pick up one of each, including booster box cases. Booster box cases or stuff are crazy, but you got about a $1,400 entry fee just to get one pack, one ETB, Pokemon Center style, one regular ETB. So it costs you a lot. Look for cards with limited print runs. Give yourself the opportunity to understand you're a collector. You want to chase the hype, but at the same time, you don't, because you're also doing it with a premium. But you want to be an investor so that you understand, like, okay, maybe I pick up some singles, maybe I pick up some slabs. Most likely I want to rip some packs. Maybe I rip some packs with my wife or girlfriend. Maybe I rip some packs with my kids. That'll make it more fun. Don't always just have to chase the top card in the set. Like, oh my god, if I don't get the Mewtwo in a PSA 10, now I've got to deal with Mewtwo PSA 10. Mewtwo PSA 10 prices, you're running yourself $2,000. Like, don't start out there. Before buying, always check PSA pop reports and eBay sales. Remember, when everybody's buying it, you got to be understanding if you may be too late. Just understand that. So at the end of the day, I didn't buy my PSA 10 cards because everybody was talking about them. I saw them in a card show. I'm like, oh, this one's $140. I've always liked this card. Like, I think it's time for me to pick it up. Hey, do you want any of my cards I have here? Oh, they do? Okay. Well, can you add this, and this? I have, $200 in my pocket. Can I bulk all these cards together and you knock off $20? Oh, great. You just picked up a ton of cards you liked and a bonus card for under $150 to $200. Like, that's not a bad win right there. If everybody's talking about one card, it's going to be tough for you to buy that card. And which leads me into my next point. For number 4, invest in the art, the story, or the card, or the value of the card. It depends on how you want to look at collecting. Nobody can tell you how to collect. I can't tell you how to collect. You can't tell me how to collect. At the end of the day, you have to like what catches your eye, what's at the right price point. And art in Pokemon, and emotions are what move you, and the numbers, you got to look at it secondly. So let's take a look real quick at a couple of different things. Everybody loves Pikachu. Pikachu's a goat. People spend their entire time Pokemon collecting, just collecting every single Pikachu out there in the world. There's over 700 Pikachu cards out there in English and in Japanese. So you could just try to collect every single Pikachu. And then there's people that take it to the extreme where they collect every single card for one page. And then there's other people that say, I don't want just one copy of a card. I need 2 or 3 copies because at some point I might want to sell one of them. And so I want to still keep one. So that's another strategy you can use. Some of the bigger investments aren't the strongest cards. They could be the most expensive, or they can be very beautiful. We're looking at Umbreon VMAX here. eBay, it's somewhere between $1,800 and $2,300 right now raw. And then in a PSA 10, it's a $3,700 to $4,000. So like you can check these charts. Go to pokedata.io. This isn't anything you can't do. It's all free. You can see what it's being priced at, where it's falling into these categories, and they can help you. Alt arts, SARs can tell stories, and they people remember them because like it's a time when you played. What did Bubble Mew do to you in the year 2000 when you saw Mew running around and just being all happy? People love Mew for that reason. How did Cubone make you feel? There's so many different ones out there. Mew's sitting at right now $600, and then about $1,800 to $2,000 in a PSA 10. You've got a bunch of little different ones in there. Oddish, Diglett, Poliwag, my apologies, Rattata, and Bellsprout's in there. And this is just a nice card. People love these types of cards out there. Learn the art and the data so that you can understand what you're trying to do with your money. Giratina's another GOAT, a big legendary. He's sitting at about 600 right now, over 2,000 in a PSA 10. He's got a way lower population than the Mew. EV promo, you don't have to get the Pokemon Center one, but I put the Pokemon Center one up there because this is a video talking to new people, and right now you should see that not every Pokemon has a Pokemon Center stamp on it. It's like a promo card. There's also the star down there, so I just wanted to put this one on here so you could start to understand that. And then it's got a couple other like plushies, like a Pikachu plushie, Voltorb, and there's another Eevee photo there. It's sitting at about $100 right now, and in a PSA 10 it's sitting at about $750, so you can just start to understand where that's moving right now. Then there's the other side of EVs. Like, nobody's going to tell you what to collect, but this is a cheaper version of that other EV you saw. So there's EV and Friends, there's a ton of them right there. And if you think about really, if you played Pokemon Go, how many EVs have you caught in that game? You probably have a plethora of them. It's just a fun little way to collect, whether you want a couple or you want one card with a bunch of Pokemon in it, it can help you there. Gengar VMAX is another big chase card right now, about $800 from the Fusion Strike. It's sitting at about over $2,000 in a PSA 10. It's a big card, a lot of value. And then you can go old school. You don't just have to go the new school stuff. This is e-reader. Like if your favorite card is Cubone, you can just type in Cubone, and then you can scroll down on all the Cubones to see, hey, where am I going to get this card? Well, I'm most likely going to be able to click it right here, go to eBay, and see where the card's at. In a PSA 10, it's through the roof. And lastly, track the trends, not the FOMO. That's what I'm doing with my spreadsheet. Every month, something new releases, and it's easy to feel left behind, realistically. But consistency wins, and if you follow the market trends, not the hype waves, you'll be better off in the long run of it. Don't just buy into the hype. There's so many cards that have pumped over the last couple months just because people are like, I want to pump a card. I told my Discord to pump it, and then I bought 600 of them, and now I'm trying to sell them, or 100 of them, or 50 of them, or 20 of them, and now I'm trying to sell them. Track the sets, whether that's Mega Evolutions, Journey Together. One of my subscribers goes, "Hey Pat, Journey Together has been the only set I've been collecting because it's the only one on the shelves, and so I've really had a lot of fun master setting Journey Together because everybody left those packs behind." So like, you can have fun in so many different ways in this hobby, and Journey Together isn't even a bad set. It's a sought after set compared to a lot of other sets in the Scarlet and Violet era, but it's not the hype card. It's not the high-end PSA 10 that everybody and all the investor bros are trying to chase and pull. Look at the chase card, look at the pull rates, especially when like Mega Evolutions just came out. You start to get to understand what's worth trying to chase, and then you can understand whether it's the right time to sell or not. If week one you pull the top card in the set, it might be time to sell it quickly on Facebook Marketplace to somebody in one of the Pokemon groups in your area, because they'll give you maybe $100 off, and then from there you have $400, and then the card really dips to $250 to $300 after day one because so many have come out to the market. Remember, the market will definitely reward your research. If you take the time to do the research, do your own research, and it's definitely going to punish you if you just buy on emotion. Don't FOMO into anything. The fear of missing out. A lot of FUDs in the market right now, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Build a small watch list for yourself. If you go to card shows, have a small checklist of what you want to buy. Start to look at that checklist each week. Document what you want, document what you're purchasing. You'll start to see a pattern, and then realistically you can make your own decisions at the end of the day. I'm just a talking voice on YouTube, that's it, and TikTok. I have a chart, but at the end of the day, I'm no better than you. You just have to put the work in like I have, and you'll win too. Hey, I'm Pat's Projects. I want to win, and I want you guys to win. Knowledge is power at the end of the day, so make sure you equip yourself with as much knowledge as you can. Until next time, everyone, Pat out.